Raising kids to be humble and compassionate isn't always easy when they're born with a silver spoon in their mouth. But one mom on Reddit is determined to make sure her teens grow up understanding the struggles of others who are less fortunate. Recently, she was so livid with her daughter for mocking a homeless person that she forced the teen to sleep in a tent to teach her a lesson in empathy. In the end, it worked, but not everyone was a fan of her creative punishment. In her post, the woman describes herself as a hardworking single mom. Though she's now 34 and successful, it certainly wasn't an easy road. For starters, she had her first baby, Jasmine, at just 18. Her second daughter, Jessica, was born 2 years later. As if being a young mom wasn't hard enough, the girl's father died while she was pregnant with Jessica, which left the mother on her own by the time she was 20. Those early years tested her in ways she never imagined. "We hit rock bottom, and I was barely making paycheck to paycheck," she recalled in her post. "But I managed to get a degree, become successful, and we live well. Point is, I know how hard it is to be at the bottom of society, and my daughters know this too," she went on. That's precisely why she was so mad at what happened this week. Yesterday, Jasmine showed me a video of Jessica cussing a homeless man out and telling him, "Stop asking me for money, you'd earn it yourself if you weren't so f***ing lazy and spending what you earned on substances," the mother shared. The mother was shocked by her daughter's behavior. But that wasn't even the worst of it. When the homeless man complained about the cold, "We live in northeast England," Jessica responded, "Yeah, people camp for fun, even in December, you can't complain, you're living someone's holiday," the mother continued. She decided to teach her daughter a lesson. It didn't involve getting sent to her room or writing a letter about why she was sorry. Instead, this mom wanted to really teach her daughter a lesson about compassion, and the only way to do that, she figured, was to have her teen experience what one night in this man's life might feel like. Along with finding the homeless man and making her apologize and help pay for a hotel room for a night for him, she paid £20, as well as signing her up to volunteer at a food bank. "I decided to take her up on her offer of sleeping outside," the mother wrote. "She got pretty serious about it, too. I locked her bedroom door so she couldn't go in, put a sign on it saying, 'Closed for the holidays,' pitched a tent in the garden, and filled it with blankets and the sleeping bag I used when I was camping in Norway on a family holiday as a teen," the woman shared. "I slept in the room closest to the garden for that night, so I was nearby if anything was to go wrong," she added. Her daughter wasn't exactly psyched about the whole thing. She was reluctant to do it, but chose it over the option of not having access to her phone until the Christmas holidays are over, the mom continued. "No phone for weeks on end? I'd say she definitely chose the better deal. By the next morning, it was clear the punishment had done its job. In the morning, she was crying about how horrible it was to wake up on a cold mat and get disrupted sleep due to birds," the mom relayed. Of course, little did she know that this is the least bothersome thing about being homeless. After talking to her daughter further, the mother could see that the lesson was getting through to her. After comforting her, I asked her would she like to do that every day like the homeless man, she shared. It struck a chord with her and she was crying over her actions. It sounds like the teen won't be forgetting the lesson anytime soon, either. "This afternoon, I came home from work to Jessica making a big meal to donate to the homeless people who live on the road near our house," the mom went on. "I was proud of how she turned over a new leaf, and after taking the food to the people, my sister came over. That's when the trouble started. Apparently, my nephew and Jessica were talking at school, and he asked her about her plans for the afternoon, and she said that she was going to cook for the homeless," the mother shared. "My nephew asked what triggered that, and Jess told him everything, which he relayed back to his mum. The woman's sister was appalled by the punishment and told her as much. My sister said that my punishment was too harsh, and just the £20 and the food bank would have done the trick," the mom wrote. The sister also accused her of acting irrationally because of her own past, which has made the mom second-guess the punishment altogether. Redditors were pretty united on this one. "Nope, the punishment wasn't too harsh. In fact, it may have been necessary. Sounds like the apology and £20 wasn't enough," commented one person. "Walking a mile in their shoes taught her empathy." Another person had a valid point. "I would also like to point out that the mom also gave her daughter a choice, either a learning experience or a punishment, and I feel like that made it even better. Her daughter could have ended up just resenting it if she'd been forced to sleep in the tent with no option, but because she chose it, it had more impact. Plus, it wasn't like the mom made her daughter sleep on the street. Also, the sleeping bag and the blankets, and the camping experience, and the comforting her before bringing up the emotional sting, there are a lot of details that make this story okay, wrote another person. Someone else pointed out that the mom even pitched the tent for her daughter, which was right in the backyard garden. By most people's standards, that's not exactly roughing it. Yet another person added that the mom didn't actually subject her kid to many of the things homeless people face. She didn't wake her in the middle of the night to make her move the tent like police would to the homeless, the person wrote. And she gave her what sounds like a good sleeping bag, which most homeless people won't have, and a bunch of blankets, someone else chimed in. I've been camping around this time of year, and live in New England, so similarly cold as op, and having a winter sleeping bag makes all the difference in comfort. There were a few people who called out the mom, but the criticism wasn't for handing down a harsh punishment. At least one person accused her of using the post as an excuse to humblebrag about her good parenting and get a pat on the back from strangers. Honestly, if that was her goal, then mission accomplished. Either way, the mom is probably far more secure that she did the right thing, thanks to the flood of supportive comments. In fact, a lot of people gave her a virtual high five over a job well done. Great parenting, wrote one person. You are a golden parent, added another. Don't change a single thing about the way you're raising your daughters. It's parents like you who help make the next generation better than the last. Plenty of people commented that her daughter will thank her for it later, if she hasn't already. Honestly, with the way the daughter has changed her perspective so much, I'd be willing to bet she's actually grateful for it if anything, wrote one person. Everyone should learn this lesson. Empathy is important. Thanks for kept watching till here. What about you? Let us know in the comments, how do you feel about the mother's punishment?